So Killian's Game is a neo-noir film kind of inspired by 70s films like Chinatown or The Long Goodbye.
So the film is meant to be kind of a real-world test of Sony technologies in the context that they would actually be used out in the film world.
This is one of my dreams actually. I've been in the studio for 9 years, but it's very rare for engineers who is testing advanced technology to be on set.
The purpose of this project is to bring several key Sony technologies into play in a production setting.
So we used the new Venice 2 and then the Air Peak drone that they're coming out with, but then we also were testing remote production with the new exciting wall they've built in Japan for future remote production shoots. And then we used a lot of remote tools also. Being in the pandemic, we worked in the cloud for editing, and then we streamed everything on set for Japan to watch and vice versa.
Good? Awesome.
And then we also used Sony's production logic for planning the shoot.
At the beginning of Killian's Game, we wanted to feel sort of like the opening of a feature film. You know, there's some time to build some mystery before you really dip into the story. And the drone served as kind of this floating perspective that would help us build tension into the pursuit.
We started our day by chasing the picture car up the hill. The speed of the drone is really helpful.
The fact that you can change the aperture and you have control on the camera setting while the drone is in the air is a very nice feature.
So one of the great things about the Air Peak drone is you can use the Sony Alpha cameras, which allow you to match to a Venice 2 with a super cinematic look on a small form factor.
And action!
Glad you made it.
This is my first time using the Sony Venice 2. We didn't get much chance to test beforehand, but it performed extremely well, worked perfectly, worked like a dream. The internal RAW recording was amazing. The camera performed super well in low light. The skin tones looked beautiful. The new color profile, the S709, looked great.
It was great having Sony on set with us so that if we had questions come up, Sam was like super knowledgeable and really excited to help us however he could.
There we are. Cool.
Okay,
Thank you so much. My pleasure. My pleasure.
And I think from a filmmaker perspective, it's super valuable to know that the engineers understand what you do and why you do it, because it helps the technology work in tandem with what you need it to do.
We're also testing the Xperia Pro 5G phone. We really want to harness the power of 5G to be able to remote stream to somebody in another location.
What it does is allows us to extend Video Village beyond just a couple hundred feet. We can do the couple hundred feet and we can go thousands and thousands of miles. In this use case, Tokyo is already watching us real time and not, minutes later.
So Japan was able to watch what we were doing in LA, and then we got to watch Japan work during their set. The video quality was incredible. You could see what they were seeing through the camera, and then also we could see behind the scenes of like how the set was lit and how the shot was being executed and everything.
So one of the biggest things we wanted to test on this shoot was the brand new LED wall they built in Japan to recreate a set that we had actually shot on in real life here in the States.
So you get to the desk, you're pulling out the letter and you're reacting. That's kind of the moment there.
Today we're filming on set, and then they're going to scan the set that we've just worked on. That's going to go to FuseFX.
We start by receiving a LiDAR scan of the location. We take that into our VFX pipeline at FuseFX, and we convert that into a virtual environment, which then we can provide to the team in Japan, and they're able to shoot with that virtual environment on their LED volume.
The communication was very important, and we've always talked with FuseFX and Sailor team to make sure the color is correct.
So for today, just talking about the creative, how it looks, see if we're in the ballpark for lighting and the fire sequence, and if there's anything else we want to change before we start sending files your way later this week.
One of the things that was interesting about writing for the LED wall is we sort of wrote carefully. We didn't want to push the boundaries too much because we weren't sure exactly how it was going to respond. And we found that when they did the actual shoot, some of the things that we were careful about, they could actually achieve at a much higher level than what we were expecting. So next time we approach a project like this, we'll kind of know, you really can get away with a lot more than you think.
For KILIANS game, we're taking it through all the aspects that we do for every feature film here at Sony. From scoring, ADR, Foley, the dub stage.
The artists of sound are behind the scenes creating tracks and creating soundscapes that bring films to life.
There's things you have to learn, but that's the beauty of a testing project like this.
It's amazing as filmmakers to have this opportunity and tell a story that we're excited about, but get to use new tools and play in a lot of ways, right? And to have the support of Sony to let us take some risks and go out there and make something that we really are proud of.